Hi everybody, Gerone Wright here again. What I did is this is the same image that I did a video on yesterday on a Nervy Hall by an artist, I think Verani or whatever it is. Architect was the Nervy Hall is named after the architect. Okay, it's a 1971 project there of the Vatican. Um, this art sculpture, this creation, is in a location where there is seating for 6,000 people. 6,000 people come and sit before the Pope. I believe they sit either once or twice a month or whatever, and they sit before this shrine, not knowing exactly what it is there or what it stands for. And through my true paranormal experience and encounter, which I've evolved through over the past 3 years, I've been able to see things for what they truly are. And in this case, I noticed that this is a complete art form or artwork, sculpture, that wherein the artist made images. It's almost like creating a full painting. And what he did is actually cut away pieces, took away pieces that made the artwork almost like incomplete. Unbeknown to most, they would figure that Gerone Wright would come along years later and actually know what this means and represents. When I look at this, my eyes can fill in the blanks. These little blanks here, my eyes can fill them in. Okay, and I have looked at so many images through my decodings of a Renaissance artist's artworks, and my true source of being able to see through this is in space and nebula matter. There are multi-dimensional images that are in these masses of rock, and what happens is these masses of rocks are actually seeds that have life forms within them that are sent to other worlds. And through my ability to read into them, I can look at this with ease. All right. Yesterday I gave you the image of Christ's body being in that of a celestial snake. I saw it yesterday like this, and I gave it to you like that yesterday. Okay, because I actually truly saw that. One of the heads of the snake that I actually seen, a serpent, as I described it. Here's the second image that came to me, and I actually put it in droning for you. Okay, and I detailed what I can see. This is the beauty in my experience and encounter, people, in my world, Gerone vision, is because all I did was just accent what is already there and what I can see, and the rest comes to me. Look at this serpent, people, how the defining features are around the mouth of that of a serpent. Now I added the teeth and I added the eye. That's it. Everything else, people, is already there. And then you have the body of Jesus emerging from out of the head, showing you that his reptilian bloodline is that of this creature. Now, I know that how we evolved. I mean, I can't stress that enough. I already know that already. So I know how and know what's going on and know why this is being shown. Okay. I hope to be mainstream one day, because I've been doing this for so long that I set everything else aside. Everything else was set aside for me to do this, to come to this far, which I'm glad that I never gave up on, because I would not be sitting here doing such a remarkable video if it wasn't for my persistence, my dedication, and my devotion to getting to the truth of what is happening. Where did I come from? What's going on? I mean, this came to me. I didn't come to it. It stopped me in my tracks. I was in the middle of a home building project about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more than 3 years ago, and this thing came to me and said, "Hey, here's something. This is what you should be doing. I stopped everything, laid down my life right at that point, and began my new life with doing this at that point. Didn't turn back. Now, I gave you, I'm leaving this image up, by the way, because I want you to see this. I'm not going to, now, these defining features of the snake. This snake appears, they show you, this is a celestial snake. I gave you an image, and I found a hidden flame nebula. The same exact celestial serpent. I have it on one of my, I think I have it here. No, this is in the hidden flame nebula, this celestial serpent. And you see it with like an egg in its mouth. There's like, and that's people, and this people I realize is like millions of years, light years, in width and diameter. I understand that, people. But what I'm telling you, that this is what space is about. And there's not only just one there, there's another one in the background, up in, about in here somewhere, up towards my finger, all the way up in here in this corner right here. There's another one. Matter of fact, I'm right there at the defining features of the mouth right there. I mean, you can see the reptilian-like scales right there. There's another one, and I believe that might be the eye, but it's just hidden by the flash of light in the back there. And this is a Hubble spacecraft image. People, this stuff is throughout space. And this is how we were created. This is how life forms are being created. And it's an intelligent communication going on. For whatever reason, I understand it all. I'm connected to it. I'm alleging that genetically, spiritually, paranormally, whatever you want to actually say, that I am embodied by everything that you actually see here. And I know how I am. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's almost like people that I've been before, and here I am now, back again. And it's not just being in the body of another person or another being. It's like being in the body of everything. It's just like if I evolved from the beginning of time, and I'm here now, and all of this stuff is within me. I have seen so many things. I mean, it's just crazy. I've seen the cure-all for everything. I've seen the truth in the fountain of youth. I mean, all of these things, people, that I've seen. I mean, but it's amazing though that there's people here in our world that actually know some of the things that I know, because I would like to know that I know it all, and they don't. And I'm saying this is because, I mean, for me, I'm going to tell you what happened to me one day. Since I have some time here, I'm going to leave this image up. You know, one day I was sitting in my kitchen, and I was at the table, and I was at my laptop, and I was doing some images, and I was sitting there, and I was at the sun. It's middle afternoon, and I would like to say that I would like to call it an out-of-body experience, but I was wide awake, people. Nothing happened, nothing drama. Sitting there in the afternoon sun, and the sun was coming up, and not coming up, but it was just rotating from, I think, from the east, rotating around to the west light. Okay, and what happened is that it hit my arm, and the energy of the sun almost pulled my spirit, my soul, from my body, and took me up in space to a point where I was looking back on our world. Now, people, I'm wide awake. I'm not asleep. No daydream, no nothing. It was like I was in two places at one time. And I look back on our world. And from that moment on, people, I mean, it was like there was no stopping what I could understand. The knowledge that was coming to me. Some days were better than others. I mean, I could actually sort it out like a computer, like a processing chip that didn't want to stop, like an information highway, just riveling through my mind. And I believe that I have to be abnormal, because any normal person would have probably went crazy, to be totally honest with you. But anyway, I stayed in there. I stuck in, and I wanted to understand it all. And I never gave up. I never disbelieved in myself. I always believed that whatever this thing was, this was going to see me through it all. And if I couldn't count on that, I could count on myself. So, and it just seems like I had this overwhelming support from within and from without that I was going to be able to do this. Now, I struggled with myself because I said without religion, um, without Christianity, this world is going to be a horrible place. But we are a civilized people. We know right from wrong, and we already have been taught much of which is wrong. Because reality as we know it is not, and I'm showing that to you now. And my thing is that we go through life with this belief system that we have to believe in someone else, and through a third party. There's always somebody that's standing there telling us it's going to be this way, it's not, but it's going to be that way. But I had a problem with everything from the beginning. For whatever reason, I had a problem with that because, first of all, I don't need somebody in between telling me, a middleman telling me of my ability and connection to a higher power. You know what I mean? So, and using their interpretation of it all. That's crazy. You know what I mean? Then I have a problem with a higher power demanding to be worshipped. I have a problem with that too. Through all these problems that I have with it, and then not to mention everything else that actually went on, which I'll discuss later on, but I'm not going to do that here. But there were so many things that I had a problem with this belief system, referencing God and Jesus and all that, and the demand of worship. I had a major problem with that. Now, in the same token, I'm not into nothing demonic. Nothing on that, because it's the same. If you want to believe what they want us to believe, that's the same exact thing, because it's worship and someone saying that they're greater than the other. People, I like to believe that we are all equal, and everything that is one in one person is in another, and there's nobody that is more closer to God than yourself, because everything that is in anybody that's wanting you to worship them is what you are created of and what you are made of. Alright, now having said all of that, these images, I know them because they came from space. Okay? I told you here yesterday, this is a horn right here with a face in it. There's a mouth, there's a nose, there's an eye, and it's of the mother of creation, the woman I dubbed the mother of creation. And her image and likeness, as you see, goes down. It just doesn't stop. It's many of them. There's one there, and if they're multidimensional images. If you can separate them with your eyes, there's another there. And they keep going down until they get larger and larger and larger. And it's a whole face, people, right here. It's a whole face. There's the chin, like down there. There's the mouth in there. And if you turn it upside down, there's another image within there. And then I showed you that there's a gargoyle right there, people. A gargoyle with fins on its back. And then there's another image of Mother Creation over here on the back there. There's a gargoyle right there. People, we are of intelligent minds. How in the world can so many people go and sit before something and not see this? You know what I mean? Are we that blinded by what we were taught, that this is that we cannot see the truth and reality and everything that is there? Are we that naive that we cannot see? This is like a scene, I like to call it, like from Alien, where there's a web and you're being trapped in the web and the whole nine. Except for this has a message. It's like a grail that I can read. Now, the Vatican has trouble behind this. They have trouble, and without a doubt. You know what I mean? One man, Gerone Wright, one man brought this to you, to show you the truth behind it. Oh, something that you can Google. This is something that you don't need no scientific approval for, people, or no defining thing from science. In fact, I'm almost seeing the head of a dinosaur now that I'm actually looking at this here. I see the head of a dinosaur right here. You see me circling around right here. There's the neck. See an eye. I see the head of a dinosaur in there as well too, people, which doesn't surprise me because it's all actually in there. These are all our ancestors. I see the head of a dinosaur right there. But anyway, let's see something else down there. I'll go back to that later on. But I can read the whole thing, people. All these prehistoric creatures of our world, their genetics were manipulated to create us. They went in different directions. They are in the Ica Peruvial burial stones that are undated. Stones that are buried, people, with dinosaurs on them and with people, showing you how genetics was being spliced. Salvador Dali, he has it in his artworks. Rembrandt has it, references it in his artworks. Even Picasso references it in his artworks. The later artworks they utilize the animals such as the horses and the lions, but not referencing in so much as just them, but the ancestry of these creatures which stem back, the birds, which stem back to the ancient genetics of the dinosaur. So the later that we come in time, the closer we come to our generation, and what happens is that they use creatures that we know, but then there's the underlying message of the genetics of these beings that date back into earlier on generations. You know what I mean? To the times of prehistoric. I mean, all of these messages are encrypted and encoded in these Renaissance artists' artworks. Michelangelo, Bernini, you name them, people. I mean, and then you got to go and look at their schools, the schools that they went to, their religions, their wives. I mean, the teachings of their wives. I mean, their affiliations, their families. Look at the families. I mean, people. There's royalty involved, kings and queens. It's a genetic process that goes globally, and it takes genetics from one continent and takes them to another. The Piri Rice map, the 1550 or something Piri Rice map, the gazelle skin map. It shows me. I read that. I can do the same thing with that I've done with this. This map actually, people, details how our life forms, how they evolve from one continent to the next. I mean, it's on the gazelle skin map. And I have a video here of that. I mean, people, it's endless as to what is there. And the information's always been there. They always been there. But you know what? They were distorted. And think about who was first. Think of our world before mankind was able to understand it as a crime scene. And I mean, all these ancient civilizations disappeared, left everything behind, so we were led to believe. And if we want to believe that, think of everything then as a crime scene. They should have been treated like a crime scene? Why would all of these earlier adventurers and explorers go out under the commission of the Vatican to all of these different continents and have fights with civilizations that were there and distort and take things? If it was a crime scene, then it should have been treated like a crime scene. You know what I mean? So why in the world? And then if you notice that most of these artifacts and artworks, I mean, that should have something on it that we can understand, is if it was broken or distorted, the heads are missing, the eyes are missing, or something like that, there not to show what their true faces are. I mean, what they are distorted crime scenes. And then we have to believe whatever it is that they want us to believe. Now, we weren't there. We sent someone. I mean, we didn't send them, actually. The Vatican commissioned these explorations to these different continents, and we have to take their word on everything that was found, said, or whatever. I mean, I have a terrible problem with that. I mean, there's riches that was involved, a lot of gold and stuff that was involved. History, the most important thing is just the history that was just distorted, and all of these information is brought back to them. I mean, it's just crazy. But fortunately enough that, even with all of that, minus all of that, I have had a true paranormal experience encounter that fills in all of the gaps. Even on everything that they think that they overcame and hid is in me. It's like I knew what was there before it was distorted. Even way before man was even created, in the sense that we are now, I know the history of. You know what I mean? people, I could stop with just this. I could stop in my first video. People, I could have been, just on some of the things that I have already discovered, my Grand Canyon discoveries, my South Dakota discoveries. I would become famous just for that alone, because I could stop. But no, I keep going. So I can show you stuff like this. You know what I mean? So I can show you stuff like this. I can fill this in, which I eventually will. Just like I did this snake, this serpent. Just like I filled this in. I'm going to fill this in when I get time to it. But I just want to let you know, people, that these artists that reference our creation on how we genetically came to be. Now, this is Jesus, for those of you who don't know. This is the body of Jesus. You know what I mean? Okay? And down at the bottom there somewhere, let me see if I can show you, is the Pope. I'm going to move this back before I close out here. Oh, I want to show you. Here's that mask, people, right there. Okay? And it even shows you the reptilian head of Jesus that is there. Shows you how his hair is blown. And there's a cranial line right here. There's a cranial line showing you that the skull of mankind, which was represented by Jesus here, is attached to that of this reptilian skull, like paying homage to. Okay? And then it shows you the body of the serpent, which is actually going to include. And what it looks like, pretty much, people, if you just well, it is a serpent, but it looks like the decomposing skin of the serpent, showing you how the serpent fades away and mankind emerged, and it shows you the head of that, and then finally the man came. And that's what this is. And that's what this is all about. Now, I don't care how you slice it, dice it, or add it up. It doesn't make a difference, because now that I'm the one that brought it to you, it is only my interpretation that is applicable to it all. So everything that I found in space, everything I found here on our planet, everything that I found with the Renaissance artist artwork, it is only through my interpretation that the explanation of it all can be fulfilled. No one dare come forward now to explain this, or explain what I've discovered in space, or explain what I found on our planet, in the Grand Canyon, or can't nobody dare do it. It is now left up to me, because all of these are my findings, my discoveries, and therefore it is left up to me. I am president over everything that we believe in. It's left up to me. Now, they're going to have to come to me. Okay, I already have in my mind how I'm going to handle all of this. Okay, I put a lot of effort, a lot of work into this. And in the end, when the curtain falls, when I'm standing before the world, in the end, then we'll go from there. But I'm telling you right now, people, it's not going to be that of what we're used to and accustomed to. Because I am for you. We're together. Okay? It's not one person better than the other. It's all of us together as a whole to understand this. This is not something that I'm in on my own. This is not just I. This is we. This is not us worshiping something else. This is us together. My thing is, we should worship ourselves before we worship something else. Use common sense, people. That's all I ask. I'm going to end this video. Thank you.